even within either it's the hadiths or the Quran, if your wife cheats or disobeys you in some ways, the Quran does order Muslim men to like strike their wives. Do you think that's okay?
I mean, if it works for them, I wouldn't do that. I think I can show discipline and show...
What? Is it okay? Wait, these are such easy questions. Like, is it good to beat wives? No. But like Sneako, you know, the red pill brain just kicks in. Hey, do you think it's okay to beat the out of your wife? Like what it says in the Quran? You know, if it works for them. Wait, if it works for who? Do you think it's like it's working for the wife while she's getting her head bashed in? You think she's like, well, at least this is working for our marriage? I don't think so. Now, we all know and love Sneako. We've talked about him quite a lot on this channel, and he's like the present that keeps on giving, you know? 1 second, you think finally it's over. He's gone officially too far. He's crossed that line. There's no way he's coming back from this one. And then somehow, like a evil doppelganger of Jesus Christ, when you think he's gone, he's not. And poof, he rises from the dead once again to drop an even worse take. It's like, how many bad takes can one human being formulate inside of their brain? We will never know until we get some kind of data collection done on Sneako himself. So, Sneako recently had a conversation with our friend Destiny, where he was asked some questions about Islam. Now, most people who watch me know that I'm incredibly based and red-pilled when it comes to Islam. Basically, I am of the flaming hot opinion that Islam, like most other religions, is garbage. And of course, Islam, like a lot of other religions, also supports oppressive, disgusting beliefs and views when we're talking about women, gay people, progress, etc. Sneako was recently asked, what does he think about Islam? Let's find out what Sneako has to say. Surely there's not going to be anything here disgusting or shocking in any conceivable way. In fact, I'm sure this is going to be akin to a religious sermon that enlightens all of us. Take it away, Sneako.
Do you think Islam is the most like red-pilled religion?
In case you still didn't hear that, she said, do you think Islam is the most red-pilled religion? Now, remember, in this little disgusting hell world that Sneako inhabits, red pill is just short for hating women, being against progress, and overall having bot talking points associated with Alex Jones. That's pretty much what red pill means.
That's a good question. Dave Chappelle, like the first person who red pilled me, I think early on, was Malcolm X. And like his life. What's funny about that, Destiny?
I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, did you know that Malcolm X was a leftist?
Yeah, but he also was pro-segregation. He had a lot of right-wing ideas too.
What? Okay. Yeah, but he was also pro-segregation, okay? I like how he doesn't even try to hide it. He's like, yeah, pro-segregation, you know, right-wing, right?
I think he was anti-immigration. Yeah, and I like the fact that he converted to Islam in jail. Same thing with Dave Chappelle. He converted to Islam. A lot of people that I respect ended up finding Islam, so I think that there's something to that.
Is Andrew Tate?
Yeah, he's a Muslim now.
He's a Muslim?
Yeah, Tristan Tate.
Okay, so as we know, Andrew Tate converted to Islam not too long ago. So we all know that Sneako rides Andrew Tate's dick harder than a $100 gay prostitute ever would. Odds are Sneako is feeling a desperate need to defend Islam because his big daddy Andrew Tate is a Muslim now.
Who I'm closer with, he's a Christian.
Andrew Tate getting banned off of Twitter is like his version of going to jail and like converting to Islam.
He got banned off of all social media, Airbnb, every single, not just Twitter.
Are you against grooming?
Define grooming.
Trying to convince, like, basically trying to raise children into doing sexual acts or, you know, becoming sexual with an adult in the future.
Yeah, that's gross.
Okay, I'm really glad that she clarified that for Sneako. I feel like he might have thought grooming is when you take a shower and then comb your hair and use a hair dryer and put on deodorant.
Yeah, okay. How do you feel about, like, the fact that Muhammad, like, married a 9-year-old girl? Or am I just wrong about that?
Listen, that was just his hustle.
I don't know how true that is. I'm not gonna speak it. That's like shaky territory. You're about to get a lot of people upset about
But
that.
I don't think any Muslims deny it. Like, I think it's common knowledge, no?
If that's true, then he's not, then, nobody's perfect.
Even within either it's the hadiths.
Okay, so here we're greeted by the first amazingly insightful take here from Sneako. What do you think about grooming? How do you feel about Prophet Muhammad marrying a 9-year-old? In reality, by the way, Prophet Muhammad married the girl when she was 6 and then fucked her when she was 9. Just to be clear, that way we make sure we get those lovely details accurate. And upon hearing this, Sneako responds, nobody's perfect? I'm sorry, what? Nobody's perfect? That's the excuse you use when you forget to take the trash out, okay? That's the excuse you make when you accidentally overcook your toast one day. Not, oh, I raped a child? Well, nobody's perfect, Hey, everybody makes mistakes around here. We're all human, okay? We've all committed pedophilic acts of rape before. What is just part of the human experience, Nobody's perfect, okay? I forgot to take the trash out. You raped 5 kids. We're all kind of the same. This is hysterical in one of the most disturbing ways comprehensible to mankind. What the fuck is wrong with you, creep? Now, I'm going to pull this up as well. So I went over this, okay? And because people dispute sometimes the 9-year-old wife thing. So the wife's name, the 9-year-old girl, was Aisha. So these are multiple different passages, I believe, from the Quran or the Hadith, all reporting on Aisha's age. He stayed there for 2 years or so and then married Aisha when she was a girl of 6 years old, and he consummated that marriage when she was 9 years old. This is generally considered the second most reliable collection of the Hadiths. She writes that Muhammad, Allah's messenger, married me when I was 6 years old, and I was admitted to his house at the age of 9. Here, when she was 7 years old, she was taken to the house as a bride when she was 9, and her dolls were with her. And when he, the holy prophet, died, she was 18 years old. This is another part from the Hadith, written by Aisha herself. The apostle of Allah, may peace be upon him, married me when I was 7 years old. The narrator, Suleiman, said, or 6 years. He had intercourse with me when I was 9 years old. So yeah, but anyway, that's Sneako saying nobody's perfect, Nobody's perfect. That's why Muhammad had to rape a child.
To the Quran.
Nobody's perfect.
Even within either it's the hadiths or the Quran, if your wife cheats or disobeys you in some ways, the Quran does order Muslim men to strike their wives. Do you think that's okay?
I mean, if it works for them, I wouldn't do that. I think I can show discipline and show...
What? Is it okay? Wait, these are such easy questions. Is it good to rape children? No. Is it good to beat wives? No. But Sneako, the red pill brain just kicks in. Hey, do you think it's okay to beat the fuck out of your wife? Like what it says in the Quran? If it works for them. Wait, if it works for who? Do you think it's working for the wife while she's getting her head bashed in because she wouldn't suck her husband's dick long enough? You think she's like, well, at least this is working for our marriage? I don't think so. When you say it works for them, you mean it works for the abusive, disgusting, subhuman husband who's beating the fuck out of his wife. Maybe it works for him. I'm pretty sure the woman getting beaten probably isn't working out so good for her. It works for them. Again, this is what you say when you're asked questions about an open marriage. Well, if it works for their relationship, that's fine. Not, is it okay to beat your partner? But once again, Hunter Avallone here with the incredibly hot takes, don't beat your wife, kids. Don't do it. It's bad.
If it works for them, I wouldn't do that. I think I can show discipline and show in different ways.
When you say if it works for them, you're indifferent if some men beat their wives.
I mean, it worked for a long time, before the 70s,
It worked for a long time? No, it didn't. You chuckle fuck. Are you okay right now? Did you pop one too many red pills this morning, buddy? Did you overdose on your prescription? What the fuck are you talking about? It did not work for a long time. What happened for a long time is wives were beaten, treated like second-class citizens, abused and raped viciously and constantly by their husbands, and a lot of the times, nothing would happen because of it. He brings up the 70s, and we will play the rest of his clip here in a minute, but back before the 70s, I believe that domestic abuse was handled as a domestic issue. Police wouldn't even get involved if the wife had been beaten by her husband. A lot of the times, they would just let the family handle that. And this allowed for that abuse to continue with no consequences. This didn't work for a long time, Sneako. For a long time, wives were abused and treated like second-class citizens. This isn't working for a long time, okay? This is the problem, by the way, when you neglect studies and would rather go by personal experience like Sneako and these other red pill chuckle fucks like to do. Instead of, hey, was domestic abuse occurring back then or not? Well, you didn't hear about it, right? So it was probably not as big of a deal. That's his mindset here. Because you didn't hear about it, because you didn't see it happening, then it probably wasn't a big deal. But in reality, behind the scenes, wives everywhere were being abused. So no, this did not work for a long time, Sneako. For a little while, it just wasn't talked about and recognized as a massive issue the way that it is nowadays.
Men beat their wives.
I mean, it worked for a long time. Like before the 70s, like it was common for the husband to, give her a slap once in a while if she was acting up. But, that's going to get you in jail now. So I'm not going to advocate anybody to do that. I don't think.
Listen to this weasel. Listen to this weasel bitch right here. Back in the 70s, you could smack her if she was acting up. So what does it mean for your wife to act up? Oh, right. It's completely subjective and arbitrary, so it's up to the husband to decide. So maybe if he doesn't like the fact that his wife wants to, go to art class, then he can beat the fuck out of her, because in his mind, that's her acting up, right? There's no real way to measure whether or not she is acting up. That's just left up to the drunken husband's subjective discretion. So first of all, that doesn't even make sense. Second of all, listen to this guy weasel away from actually owning the position. You talk such a big game about being the alpha, who's not a bot, who's not afraid to say it how it is, bruh. But now you're weaseling away from owning the incredibly despicable position that you've pretty much already owned. Now when push comes to shove, well, it's illegal, so I'm not really advocating for it, haha. Shut the fuck up, you spineless cuck.
Now, so I'm not going to advocate anybody to do that. I don't think hitting women is good. You should be able to control the situation in different ways.
Okay, so so it worked for a long time. If it works for some couples, it's cool. You're also not saying to do it because, it's illegal. And then at the very end, we get the little cherry on top. But it is bad to hit women, okay? Thank you. Wow, you finally managed to come around to the right position, dude.
Destiny, are you pro or against beating women?
Probably say against,
All right, cool.
Pretty brave, but yeah.
Brave.
Come on.
What you looking at? What you been looking at this whole time?
I think that's the end of it already. That is a surprisingly terrible take, even for somebody such as Sneako. Domestic abuse worked for a long time. Raping children. Nobody's perfect. My God. This guy gets up here, by the way, on Twitter, and he feigns moral outrage about things like vaccines and mandates. He acts like he's so moral and courageous for being against the vaccines and the mandates and Bill Gates and all the typical conspiracy bot talking points. He thinks he's so brave and so moral, so virtuous when it comes to this. But then when it comes to the issue of domestic abuse or child rape, you can't even take a hard position. It takes you a fucking half hour to weasel your way through a bunch of mental gymnastics to finally land on the, well, beating women, it is bad, by the way. Did I mention don't do that? What a cuck. Sneako is a pathetic piece of shit. The fact he has any relevance at all still is concerning. I think that it speaks volumes to how deranged and degenerated our society has become. Somehow he garnered an audience, mostly from sucking Tate's dick, and now this is where he's at. Not really willing to take a hard stance against domestic abuse, defending Islam, and writing off somebody raping a child as nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes, The guy who consistently mocks me for being on antidepressants, honestly, you should be on pills, Sneako. Go take some pills, bro. At least I'm not up here writing off child rape. At least I'm not up here defending a disgusting regressive religion just because my big daddy alpha happens to believe in that regressive, disgusting religion. Sad and embarrassing. And yeah, you're right, chat. He needs to take some other pills that are not red.